Hi there, I'm Isan Ali A. Shaw, and you're watching me on YouTube and Facebook Live. Today we are going to talk about twin flame, false twin flame, soulmates, the difference between twin flame and a soulmate, and how to find your true twin flame. I'm still learning about this. I love this topic. It is very interesting, and you're gonna love it too because while researching it, a very I was very curious about it, and many questions came to my mind, and it's going to be a roundtable discussion, and I'll ask those questions to my guest. Twin flame is a spiritually growing experience and connection. It allows you it allows you to see the world differently, and it changes your life forever. And twin flame is a divine, soulful, and self-conscious experience. Your twin flame could be your lover, your partner, your friend, your teacher, your mentor, your student, or could be anyone. And on the other hand, that's where they relate the twin flame with the soulmate. They say that the twin flame is a soul mirror, that the your soul is split into two bodies, and you see the reflection of yourself in the other person, and that's where they develop a relationship between the twin flame and the soulmate. And twin flame is a two-way journey. It cannot work. It cannot go in one way. It allows you, the true twin flame, allows you to unite the masculine and feminine energies within you. And the difference between twin flame and the soulmate is that uh, the twin flame is a spiritually growing connection or experience, and the soulmate is an understanding. It's my analysis that the soulmate a, is a is an emotional, intellectual, and romantic understanding between the lovers. On the other hand, twin flame is a spiritually growing experience. It's my analysis. I might be wrong, but I'm still learning about it. Whatever I have learned and experienced is just my analysis. And we are going to have a roundtable discussion, and my guests are is Jackie McGraw. She has joined us from Gold Coast, Victoria, Australia. And my second guest
Queensland.
is Gary Merck, and he has joined us from Alberta, Canada. How are you guys?
Very well, thank you.
Riding on the flames, so to speak.
Yes, and I'm gonna start with you, Jackie. And how how are you? While we were discussing earlier, you said you love the Hindi version of it. Okay, elaborate and enlighten us.
Yes,
Hey, Amanda.
in the Hindi explanation that
Mm-hmm,
I was looking up was more of a,
mm-hmm,
the twin flame is a really sacred bond when the two
mm-hmm,
come together, and you don't always come together with your twin flame in each lifetime. It could be many, many lifetimes away, but it's a when it does come together, it's a very
mm-hmm,
powerful energy that can has the potential to really
mm-hmm,
expand the world as such, because it's such a beautiful energy that comes together in the understanding of just spreading how to live in unconditional love, right? And the
mm-hmm,
twin flame they describe as a separating of divine energies into
mm-hmm,
masculine and feminine. So when
mm-hmm,
these two twin flames do come together, it's a massive chance to grow not only each person, but
mm-hmm,
to use that energy to make massive change in the world. So,
mm-hmm,
and it gives you an opportunity to, like you were saying, like that mirror self. It's that
mm-hmm,
chance to grow every aspect of yourself in pure
mm-hmm.
love. with
Yeah,
somebody that's so
it,
supportive.
they also twin flame allows you to experience and to accept your own inner securities, your fear, and
Every
and
aspect of
the
yourself, yes.
every aspect of yourself. And when you connect with your with your twin flame, and it helps you to grow and overcome those the insecurities. Mhm.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's how I understand it too. Is
Mhm.
as we stand and I mean, we have that potential with everyone we meet, but this seems
Mhm.
to be, everyone that we
Mhm.
meet in our lives will somehow we'll
Mhm.
look at, and they're,
Mhm.
if you're curious enough, instead of going
Mhm.
into that react mode and just
Mhm.
responding and listening and being curious about every person that we meet,
Mhm.
they all give you the chance to grow as well. But this seems to be with a twin flame, it allows you, because it's so deep and in depth and intense
Mhm.
energy, that it does allow you to grow very, very quickly in this
Mhm.
energy.
Mhm.
So,
It's
in this
it's kind of
lifetime, you'll expand fully.
Mhm.
That's
Yes,
my
indeed.
understanding.
And oh, I love this understand the Hindi version of it because it talks about your masculine, your inner masculine and feminine energies and uniting them. And the twin flame allows you to do it. And it's my understanding. I might be wrong, and I'm still learning about it. And Gary, since we are having this topic. Can we have a light music in the background? And a bit slower, not too high, so people could still hear us. And
Well, something nice and romantic, maybe,
yeah,
Okay. Seems
yes,
we're talking about
yes,
twin flames and we're talking about,
yes, soulmate,
soulmates and,
yes, yes,
music does make that. So why don't we put in
yes,
something like a love frequency,
That
like
would
yes,
be
528
lovely.
hertz. So,
yes,
hey,
yes.
Google, play 528 hertz on Den TV.
Now, 528 hertz is also about creating miracles and things as well.
Mhm,
So that's,
Oh, it does many things.
yeah.
That was loud. You
yeah,
see, I was listening
that,
to loud music when I was coming in.
yeah,
That's to
yeah.
shake
It's
up your
good now.
energy.
Yeah.
Uh,
So,
so, and now I'm gonna move to Gary. Gary, what are your understanding about what is your understanding of the twin flame?
oh
Hey,
boy.
hey, Tanya.
That's Pandora's box
Hey,
from
Amanda.
my perspective. Okay.
Mhm,
So I'll step back at what I thought it
mhm,
was
mhm,
until I learned about what it isn't. Okay.
mhm,
So at one point in time, we would say that a soulmate and a twin flame was a separation of the
mhm,
souls. Okay.
mhm,
So God basically separated the soul and said, here's half on this side and here's half on the other side, and let's go out
mhm,
and find each other. Okay.
mhm,
Really? Okay, so
mhm,
that's kind of some of the stories that we go into, and then it was believed that eventually I'll meet my soulmate. Okay, and every
mhm,
time I met a lady, I thought she was my soulmate, and it turned out that no, she was not my soulmate. Okay,
mhm,
until I started to understand something.
mhm,
My soulmate begins with me. So
mhm,
first off, my divinity within is my masculine and my
mhm,
feminine. When it comes together, I have my soul. I have the
mhm,
essence of my soul. So
mhm,
I don't need another half to turn
mhm,
around and say, well, that's the other half of me.
mhm,
And in the sense of a
mhm,
twin flame is when we connect with a like minded energy. Let's put
mhm,
it this way. Okay.
mhm,
And this energy comes together in this magnetism. And it's like bang, it's stuck. And all of a
mhm,
sudden there is a fire that builds from within. The
mhm,
heart warms, the soul warms. Your soul is all of a sudden saying, there's something here, something
mhm,
magical. So it is an amplification of two dual energies that are in unison. The
mhm,
twin flame, as it comes
mhm,
together, it sparks fire,
mhm,
it sparks passion, it sparks intellect, it sparks creativity, it sparks unknowns,
mhm,
games. It sparks many things. And
Mhm.
do you need to be in physical connection with this twin flame?
Mhm.
No, you don't. Okay. So a twin flame can be felt with today's technology. As an example, you could reach into a connection with somebody and you're
Mhm.
speaking with them, and all of a sudden there's energy flowing. Okay. As beings of energy, this energy is flowing. Okay. And you've met this other half of the flame, so to
Mhm.
speak. Not the half of your soul,
Mhm.
but the other part of that flame. And as this twin flame starts to grow together and breaks down the traumas and the things that we've learned from the past, all of a sudden you start to realize that maybe it's a twin flame in presence, but maybe it's a twin flame in past lives. Somebody that
Mhm.
you've met, that you've crossed, that you've experienced life with, that you've
Mhm.
learned with, if we want to believe in past lives. Okay. I believe in past lives. And well, I don't have enough time to go into that topic. Okay. But in the essence of this connection,
Mhm.
there's no thought to it. It is
Mhm.
just bang, it's there.
Mhm.
It's a spark that comes together that
Mhm.
is, there's no words for it. It's feeling.
Mhm. It's
Your
just
heart
feelings.
feels it.
Mhm.
Your touch wants to reach out. Everything
Mhm.
that comes into connection with this twin flame
Mhm.
has now been amplified. It's doubled.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
And can that be a lover? Yes. It can
Mhm.
be a friend. Yes.
Mhm.
Can it be not only a human? Could it be an animal? It could be an animal.
Mhm.
It
Mhm.
could be a connection with another life that is in this energy pattern that comes together and says it ignites. There is a
Mhm.
common goal that comes together, and it's a goal of love, it's a goal of respect, it's a goal of it's absolute compassion without thought. It
Mhm.
just flows. Okay. And many are being searching for, I want to find my
Mhm.
twin flame, I want to find my
Mhm.
soulmate, I want.
Mhm.
No, you don't find a soulmate. You don't find a twin flame. It finds both of you. You
Hey
don't
Jesse.
find
Mhm.
it. Okay. And this is
Mhm.
from my perspective, what I've learned up to this point. And it
Mhm.
is an example of my experiences with two relationships, okay, that I thought were, that turned out weren't. It was an experience. There was a magnetism that was there. Yes, a soul
Mhm.
connection. But the truth of my soulmate was when I started to look inside me. And when I found the essence of my divinity within, now I'm one, I'm whole. I'm not looking for another to compliment me. I'm not looking for another to help me. I can stand in my own person. I am who I am. I look in the mirror, I see the same person I see 20 years ago, except I've gotten older. Okay? You know? It- but this essence of the soul is within me. And now,
Mhm.
is there a connection with a twin flame? Yes, there is. In fact, there can be connections with many twin flames. Twin
Mhm.
flames, like I said,
It's
can be a friend, can be an animal,
mm,
can be,
your
you can
friend, your
have a twin
mentor,
flame with a
your life
tree.
partner. Yes. And
Okay.
it's interesting because when we study consciousness, then it tells us that we all of us are connected with each other, and there are no words to describe their experience, and
Yeah.
it's just a feeling. When you meet someone, it makes you feel that even though you are meeting it for the first time, but when you meet the person, and it makes you feel that this is the person that you are just connected with. It makes you feel that you know this person somehow, even though
Yep.
you have never met this person. It's just a feeling. It makes you
Hmm.
feel connected. I have the experience of connecting with many. I became friends with them later on, but it's just a connection. And the consciousness tells us that we all of us are connected with each other. And getting you talk about the past life, and I want to ask. Now I'm gonna move to. to Jackie. Jackie, what are your thoughts on uh, this this soulmate and the twin flame and the past life, these energies? How do you see that?
I find it really interesting what Gary was saying, and I do feel that
Mhm.
too, that we have to, and
Hey
I've actually
Donna,
been
I
working on
think it's
that
Donna.
a lot
Mhm,
lately, is just
mhm.
confronting all those parts of you that you just want to hide away, or due to trauma or
Thank you,
whatever
Jackie.
have been hidden away.
Mhm,
And so now becomes a time where you need to confront all these little things, not so much confront, be curious about them,
mhm,
and
mhm,
explore them and see, and make them your friend almost, all aspects of yourself. There's nothing to fear
mhm,
of any part of yourself. And what Gary was saying, though, something else I'd like to bring up is with soulmates, do they have to be for
mhm,
life? Because we
mhm,
can meet someone and think maybe they're our soulmates, that someone we're really drawn to and helps us to grow and we share love, or
mhm,
whether it's a friend, a lover, or whatever, work colleague.
mhm,
And but depending on what our desires and needs are at that moment, soulmates
mhm,
might come into and out of our life once they've served
mhm,
the purpose of for both of us, for the growth or development of ourselves, and then go. So that's still, to
mhm,
me, you could consider a soulmate. Like Gary, you were saying, you felt like some of your partners were your soulmates when you met them. Well, they probably were at that time for what you needed and for
Mhm.
some sort of growth, and then they go out of your life. I think
mhm,
thing with us as human beings is we kind of tend to still want to hang on to, me personally, I'm talking for me personally, we still want to hang on to that idea of that person being our soulmate. And so you go through just
mhm,
a lot of rubbish to get to the end. When really, if we, all these people that we meet that come into our lives that could be considered soulmates, once, well, it seems like you're using them in some way, but what you get out of once your growth has developed and you've become, something else has grown in you, and then something else is ignited, and another passion or another thing has been developed in you, then you have a different point of view, different perspective, and so you can move. Maybe another soulmate will come into your life. But I do agree, though, Gary, that you can't go out looking for these things. There's a lot
mhm.
of things, and
It
you
just
think about the
happens.
people that, yeah, the people that you've met that have really influenced your life. There's a lot of
Mhm,
synchronicities that come into play for you to just bump into each other, and
mhm,
so for you to go looking, you're probably going on the wrong path and you're missing wherever. So just let it flow, and
mhm,
whoever comes into your life, you will,
mhm,
is meant to come into your life. If you accept that, then you'll just save a lot of time wasting, I think, bar
mhm,
hopping.
mhm. Well,
Not that I've
yeah,
ever done that, Gary and Assad.
mhm,
Not
mhm.
me.
Okay.
The people I
Mm,
know.
I would have liked to seen
mhm,
you in your youth. I can imagine you being.
Oh, I
mhm.
don't think he would have got.
Okay, I would like to. There's one thing I would like to mention here that guys, if you are listening, then I cannot. The reason I cannot see your name here, C is a Facebook user, and there's a link in the description, and just click on the link and allow the StreamYard link. Just click on it and allow the StreamYard to show your name. Only then I'll be able to, and you would be able to see your name here. And now I would like to, I would move to Gary
Donna made
and
a
your
comment.
thoughts.
I just
Mhm,
want to interact for just a second. She said
mhm,
three reasons that you
mhm,
meet someone. Okay.
mhm,
One is a reason,
mhm,
two is for a season, or
mhm.
three for a
Is a
lifetime.
lifetime. Mhm,
Interesting. I kind of like
uh-huh,
that.
It's
uh-huh.
nice, isn't it?
It's simple, but it's to the point that
Yeah,
you meet someone for three reasons.
very true. One of the things that I think a lot of us, why we search for is because we've never been taught how to search within, for one.
Mm.
We follow what we're told. Our parents, we see our parents, we read books, we read the romance novels, the religions, many different things. Okay, but like Jackie was saying, is that, and I wholeheartedly support this. You can't search for. Okay, it's not going to happen. Okay, you're what you're going to find is find an experience, but it's not
Thank
that's
you,
not a
Jesse.
soulmate connection. It's not a soul match. Okay, maybe not a soulmate, but a soul match. You're matching in, in your uniqueness in one way, but you're also matching in similarities that says this is enjoyable. The joy comes in, the heart comes in, the endorphins, the pheromones. There's a physical magnetism that says, boom, this is somebody I would like to know. This is somebody that I'm. I feel that may know them because I'm seeing a mirror of myself in many ways, because this is what's happening. Somebody is very similar to how I see things, how I feel, what foods I eat, and so there's an easier path rather than two
Mm.
unique souls in two different directions trying to say, well, let's love each other, right? No, not the same ideology, yet there can be, the opposites that come together and say, okay, fine, one is black and one is white, and they're okay like that. Again, are they truly okay? The essence, like I said, coming back to the soulmate, I'm not looking for a soulmate. I've already met my soulmate, me. Okay, I'm married myself. That's who I'm married to. That's who I own. That's who I sleep with. That's who I wake with. So my soulmate is me walking out the door. Okay, coming back to that twin flame essence is that I pass many souls. And as I pass the soul, I pass energy. Sometimes it's magnetic, and sometimes it's a little bit electrostatic, and sometimes it's totally electric. It's like, don't, you know, this this flame that is happening, this magical flame that we all want. Let's face it, not that the very few of us want to be just solitarily alone in our lives and sit in a corner and that's it and have a happy life. There's very few people like that out of the 7 billion people on the face of this earth. But this essence of love, you know, again, being in love, wanting to be loved is sometimes where this falseness comes out, the ploy, somebody says, I'll help you find your
A
soulmate,
false twin flame.
your the false
Twin
prophecies,
flame.
if you want to look at that way, or pay me and I'll help you find a man, or I'll create a magic spell because you believe
It
that
doesn't
this
happen
person
like
is
that.
your soulmate and you want them to love you, but they're not acknowledging you, so you go see all the hoopla to turn around and say, okay, I'll pay, and hopefully this magic spell will work.
It
It
doesn't
doesn't
work
work
like
that
that.
way. Yeah,
Gary, that brings up another question for me is how we all perceive what love is. We all, it's to me, it's a state of being more than, and what you project, your whole energy. You will feel if someone. I remember saying to someone, telling them I loved them once, and they said, "I know, I feel it." So sometimes you don't have to. People are always looking. Oh, they never tell me they love me. Blah, blah, blah. If you can't feel it of someone, they probably don't. You know
to
what I
say
mean?
I love you is
Yeah.
easy. It's 3 words.
Yes,
Yes.
That's a
Yes.
yes.
very manipulative statement.
Mm,
Okay, because it can be used truly in heart, or it can be used in a narcissist point of view to say, what, I love you because I know how to manipulate this vocabulary and make you feel beautiful and wanted and desired, and but that's not love. Okay, not in my world. My world is I let others voluntarily evolve first off. So if I'm going to love, I love who you are. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. I don't need to change you. I don't need to change me. I just
mhm.
need to be me.
Hey, Helen.
You know, I be me, you be you. And now we find this synchronicity, this
Mhm,
harmony, because we can speak, we can communicate, you know, we're having, we're joined in many ways. Okay.
mhm,
And then this is this path of love that we grow in. Okay. To
mhm,
come right out of the box and say, I love you. No, that don't
mhm,
work. Okay,
Mm.
mhm.
maybe in the three
Gary.
second attentive span today that we have in the
Mhm,
millennials and say, well, I got 3 seconds. I look at you, I love you. Okay, fine.
mhm,
No, that's not love.
mhm,
Okay, it
mhm.
definitely isn't. If it
Gary.
is, so you're gonna find many different loves and not know how to
Mhm,
love. And at the end of it, you are asking for people to love you. It
I
mhm.
think
starts with
Gary,
today
what I
too, Gary, the
Gary,
society today. Oh, sorry, go
mhm.
on, Asan.
Okay, but I understand from both of your understanding and from your enlightenment and from your company and my research that the twin flame is a spiritual connection and the spiritually growing connection. And just like you said, you be you and I'll be me, and we help each other to grow.
yeah.
I find that's where that's how I understand. I like this understanding and comprehension of twin flame. And the other and the soulmate is a romantic, intellectual, and emotional understanding. It's a relationship, that kind of relationship.
Three things.
It's a combination. Yes,
Yeah,
emotional,
it's
intellectual, and romantic,
yeah. We can
and
say
all of
body,
the
body,
yes,
mind, and spirit. So
yes,
stimulate my
body, mind,
body,
and spirit.
stimulate my
Mhm.
mind, stimulate my spirit. There's a
Yes,
soul connection.
and yes, and that's where I find the draw line. That's where I find the difference between twin flame and the soulmate. But it is confusing for many people when they have the body, mind, and spirit. They feel that that's where the twin flame is. Then how do you? Now I'm gonna ask you this question, Jackie. How do you differentiate between the twin flame and the soulmate?
Okay, and this is only my
Mhm,
interpretation of what I've
mhm,
read and what I've felt most
mhm.
of my life is a
Thanks, Ellen.
soulmate.
Mhm,
A soulmate you can encounter, or
mhm,
soulmates you encounter every lifetime.
mhm,
It's our growth.
mhm,
It's how we grow in this world, and we're born in
mhm.
love,
Yes,
and we
indeed.
are
Yes.
love, and then we start to
Mhm,
move away from that, and then once we grasp that that's what life is all about, then that's what
mhm,
we will use all, as well as Gary says. Of course, you've got to love yourself
mhm,
first, okay? So you come back to that
mhm,
self love, and then but to find that self love, you've obviously moved away from it because that is our innate
mhm,
being to is love. So, but through
mhm,
experiences and challenges in life and environmental influences, all our influences, we start moving away from that and have judgment and, you know, start judging everything and have different points of view on everything. Okay, so to come back to love, that's the experience of meeting soulmates and then learning and
mhm,
coming back to your true self of love. With twin flames, my understanding is that you won't necessarily meet a twin flame in your
mhm,
lifetime. But, you
mhm,
know, if we're looking at it as a whole, you've got to think again, we're all connected, we're all the one
mhm,
consciousness,
mhm,
okay? So this is all the separate little souls that we've
mhm,
become and then coming back to spirit
mhm,
as one. So
mhm,
the twin flame to me is just you, as I said, you won't meet it in every lifetime, but then we're talking about that's time again, isn't it? That's just a
mhm,
three-dimensional thing. So
mhm,
to say not this lifetime, it's just we will meet it, but it might be many, many, as we understand it, lifetimes away
mhm,
from each other. But when it does come together and you do get that meeting of a twin flame, it's
mhm,
something so magical and powerful in its energy that it is there specifically to change the energy of the world. So if
mhm,
as Gary says, you can look for it in yourself, which yes, develop that in yourself, and then but when that's if it's your split souls
mhm,
and then coming together with that, then that
mhm,
is something very magical and something that is bound to change the
mhm.
world, because it is a
It,
huge energy of love and growth. You know,
mhm,
almost like we're going through now with this new consciousness. It's almost like this is a whole
mhm,
twin flame experience, because we're being, for some people, not everyone at the moment, I guess, as we know.
okay,
And yeah, just
it's
to move forward and grow the whole
mhm.
planet as such, or the frequency,
Hmm.
Yes, it's very
vibration.
interesting. As Jackie you said, it's very interesting, and I like this idea that you have the masculine and feminine energies within you,
Mm-hmm.
and consciousness also talks about that we all of us are connected with each other, and it happens often that we meet many people, and it tells us like the consciousness tells us that we are connected and we know this person, we are connected. It makes us feel that I met this person, but you don't remember, you don't recall it. And it's all about the consciousness that we all of us are connected. Uh, the whole world, the whole universe is an energy, and we are just tiny parts of it. And when we go back to the source, then we all of us are connected to the energy of the universe. And I think that's where the role of soulmates and the twin flame comes in. That you have the masculine and feminine energies within you, and the true twin flame and the true spiritual connection allows you to unite those energies within you, and that's where I think the energy explosion comes in, and it changes the. mm it doesn't happen often, but it happens rarely, and when it happens, it's an explosion of energy. It's just my understanding, a little
Mm.
understanding. Now I'm gonna move to Gary. Uh, how would you know that you have met your twin flame? Because you meet many people in your life. You visit different parts of the world, and how would you know that you have actually met your twin flame, not the soulmate?
How?
Yes, how would you
When
know?
in the moment when it
Mhm,
snaps you in the back of the head
mhm,
and you just shake, you
mhm,
just don't know what's going on.
uh,
It overwhelms you. Put it to you this way,
mhm,
okay?
mhm,
It overwhelms you, makes you burn from within because it's amplifying your
mhm,
spirit. It's amplifying your frequency. So
mhm,
if I'm at a frequency of 400 hertz and the other one is coming in and snaps into me is at
mhm,
400 hertz, it's now gone
mhm,
to 800 hertz and we're both boiling. Okay.
mhm,
So this essence of this, how do I know when I've met my twin flame, is my
mhm,
heart knows.
mhm,
Absolutely 100% is that my
mhm,
heart knows, not my mind. It's not
mhm,
based upon physical attraction. It's not based upon anything that I see visually. It's about
mhm,
based upon what my heart has said and what my heart has seen. And at that moment, everything changes. Everything
mhm,
changes. It's not that you lose sight of who you were. You now
mhm,
become amplified by that of the other. The two
mhm,
of you together, it just,
mhm,
you walk. It vibrates. People will look at you and they'll see you as a couple walking hand in hand. They're saying like,
mhm,
my God, that's a beautiful couple. Why?
mhm.
Because the energy from the two of them have blended into this one twin flame. You're burning at the same time.
Time.
Okay? Your
And you
soul is
healing.
pure. Your soul,
Mhm,
for me, my soul is both feminine and masculine. It is not about I meet another masculine or another feminine soul and that's my soulmate. No, my
mhm,
soulmate is me. I'm
mhm,
That's it. I mean, that's where I am. That's what my belief is. But the
mhm,
twin flame, okay,
mhm,
you burn.
mhm,
Okay, and sometimes it scares the living bejesus out of you because everything that you've learned up to a certain point may have hurt you. And so you're restricted. You're holding back from the heart. You're afraid to let go, let that essence of this unconditional love go forward no matter what. And it connects and it pulls it out of your heart. And
mhm,
yeah, Cupid, Here's what Cupid is. Bang, ding. That's, I think, the purest explanation of Cupid is that that arrow has just gone through your heart. Their energy has just snapped you right in the core of your heart, that you have said, wow. That's, to me, is how I know that I've finally met a twin flame. Now, I can meet soulmates. Sure I can. There's a variety of different people that I meet as soulmate. Asan, you're a soulmate for me.
Yes.
Jackie, you're a soulmate for me, because we resonate in a frequency. We have a connection in a frequency, and we have a
We have a.
common goal in that same frequency. And that common goal is, yes, based upon love. It's based upon peoples. It's based upon bringing people together and bringing the clarity in what's got us all mixed up here. Okay. You know, how many people believe, well, that's my soulmate, we get married, and next thing you know, 6 months later, they're beating the living daylights out of each other. Okay. What did you miss the first night? Okay. You know, like you're like, really? Is that how much you were blinded the first night? You didn't see this coming? Your heart saw it coming. So this
I
journey.
think, Gary, I think that the reason people make mistakes with twin flame and the soulmate is a very delicate differentiation between the soulmate and the
Sure it
twin
is.
flame. And twin flame is about a spiritual growth, is a soul
Yeah.
connection. Yes, and it doesn't involve romantic body, mind, and soul. On the other hand, and soulmate is just an understanding of your minds
Yeah.
and of the real world uh, that involved, and that's where I think people make mistakes. I don't know whether I'm making any sense or not, but I think that's how things works. The soulmates
In in
and
in,
the twin
in
flame.
one point,
Hmm.
I support
Hmm.
what you're saying, but in that
Hmm.
one essence,
Hmm.
that twin flame for
Hmm.
me is that connection of the Trinity. So the Trinity of self
Hmm.
is body, mind,
Hmm.
and spirit.
And
My
soul,
spirituality.
spirit.
That's a Trinity. So
Hmm.
if I'm in unison with my Trinity of self,
Hmm.
and the other is in unison of the Trinity of their self, this connection of the twin flame is an amplification of everything. It's a heightened sensitivity to spirituality, because now you're rising at the same frequency, the same wavelength. You know, you're seeing the same things. Okay, yet you're
Hmm.
still different. Okay,
Hmm.
you have the ability to be just you, and
Hmm.
know that 100% that this
Hmm.
person is going to be with you, whether you close
Hmm.
your eyes or not. There's no doubts.
Hmm.
There's no anything. You've connected, and that flame is now burning. Okay, and as it burns, it will still burn and keep burning as long as we both tend to that garden, because the twin flame can burn out. It can separate again. Say, you know, it's no longer coming together anymore because something was missed. And that missing part is that it's three parts. There's two flames, but there's also the relationship, or the wick, if we may see, in between those two flames. So we each have to keep feeding that flame. If we don't feed the flame and grow in that flame, then the twin flame will separate. Okay, that's the way that I'm gonna try to explain it in that terms. Okay, this twin flame is, yes, it's a spiritual connection. In fact, it's beyond spiritual. It's a connection of pure energy. You can make love without touching each other. It's simple as that. And somebody said, well, how's that possible? Well, the mind's a pretty
Yes,
powerful place.
Yeah,
yes.
We're,
energies.
It's about the combination and unification
yes,
of energy within yourself and with the other person, and
yes.
it's a two-way street. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen often, but it happens. When it happens, you don't need to touch, and you don't need to. It's just a feeling that you feel yourself whole, and the reason we feel whole is because the uniting of feminine and masculine energies. Now
So
I'm gonna
can
move
I
to
say
Jackie.
thank
Yes,
you?
please, sure. Yeah.
I just wanted to touch on what Gary was saying with the twin
Mhm,
flames.
mhm,
To me, like the twin flames can be, like Gary was saying, like it's if you don't bring harmony, because it's such a huge, strong energy.
mhm,
If you don't bring harmony to it and recognize it for what it is, I think it can be very chaotic. It can
Hmm.
bring
mhm,
chaos, and you probably need to
mhm,
leave it alone until you are ready to recognize it, for it to come together to be that very powerful energy that's going to change things and expand, and everyone around you will feel it because it's this intense energy.
mhm,
And also, you've got to be ready to respect, I guess, that it's going to bring out all of the aspects of yourself, but you're not to react to it. You're to see it in a loving way. If I was with someone
mhm,
and, what you describe as pushing your buttons, don't see it as pushing your buttons. See it as, oh,
mhm,
wow, I can see that aspect of myself now, and explore
mhm,
it and do it together. Like that to me is your twin flame. You can do it together and help each other grow through this. Like, oh yeah, why are you reacting in that way, or why are you responding, or what do you think about that? Discuss it, learn from it, grow from it. It just seems to be this, the twin flames is just this huge potential for growth, for you to
mhm.
go up just another huge level in your consciousness, to
Yeah, it's
expand
an
your
atom bomb.
consciousness. Yeah.
It's an
And that's
explosion.
like, that's
Mhm,
exciting to know that that's
mhm,
around.
mhm,
I'm ready and waiting for that.
mhm. Yes. Oh, no, we all love to have one.
Well,
Mm,
As Gary said earlier, that a very few people they want to live a lonely life, but most of us, all of us, we want to and we want to have that connection. And when we talk
mm,
about the connection, and when we talk about the frequencies and wavelengths of it, there's a frequency of the universe, the consciousness, and we
yeah.
all carry that energy within us, and we don't our frequency and the frequency of the nature, it doesn't match up. When it does match up, and that's where we feel something different, that the frequency of the other person and the frequency of ourselves and the frequency of the nature, when all of the three they just aligned with one another, then that's where the magic happens, the
Hmm.
explosion happens, and that's I think we all want. And now I'm gonna move to Gary, because it's a topic that we cannot discuss it in just in one episode. I'm thinking about we should also discuss it in the next week as well. And now I'm gonna mm, move to Gary. Gary, what are your final thoughts on it? And after that, we will discuss some of the comments. They are very interesting comments.
Final thoughts.
Yes.
I think if in the aspect of a twin flame, if we're
Mhm,
going to talk about this and where we can go with it and what you can expect from it, is that if
mhm,
you go forward in understanding that a twin flame does exist, be open to it.
mhm,
Don't look for it, because when
mhm,
you're going to look for it, you're not going to find it. But when
mhm,
you do feel it, don't
mhm,
miss the opportunity to explore it. Don't hold back and say, well, I'm not going to do this because of whatever you've learned from your past. If I'm
mhm,
alone today, I'm alone because I'm taking the time to grow, to heal, to look into side and
mhm,
look into the depth of myself and see exactly who I am, and where I'm going. And in that journey, if I have the opportunity to have that journey with one that is going to light my flame, okay, then let the journey begin. No hands barred, just let it go. Be with it, flow with it, learn from it, because they do exist. Just don't believe the one that's trying to sell you the story. It's like, I'll help you find your twin flame. I'll prepare you to find. No, prepare yourself. Learn to love yourself first, and then watch what happens when the twin flame connects with you. Now your love will amplify. My 2 cents worth.
and and now, Jack, your final thoughts.
I love that, Gary. That's just, yeah, that's beautiful. I
Mhm,
I agree. We can't, like, we're here to express ourselves, and the only way we can express ourselves is in the physical, is to have relationships. If we don't have relationships, whether it be with nature or other people or animals or, you know, that connection with something in the world, then we don't, there's no purpose for being here. So if you don't allow yourselves to experience love in its many forms and know
Mhm,
when to walk away when it's time, when you've learned your lessons, or lessons, I don't really like that word, but
mhm.
just for the purpose of,
Experience.
yes,
Learned
experience.
Experiences,
experience.
comprehensions.
Yeah,
Mhm,
that's good. Yeah. All the experiences that we can have in this world, like, don't deny any of them. And, you know, I'm learning that myself, is just don't say no so often, you know, don't be fearful, and
mhm,
just keep trying new things, so
mhm,
that your soul, or and all your experiences, everything evolves and you become a better person for it. But don't ever say no to love because you've been hurt before. You know, I don't think that's ever been in my mind, that, oh, I don't want to be in a relationship anymore because I've been hurt too many times. It's, you know, that's silly, because you're hurt because that's the way that's your point of view of it. You don't have to be hurt in relationships if you've got that point of view and perspective of that, you've grown from it and you've received all that love. You can't just see the bad things in a relationship that's past. If you're going to see the bad things, you've got to accept that there was many good things that you grew from as well in that relationship,
Yeah.
and take that on board. But twin flames, yes, I you know, time being irrelevant, at one point in
mhm,
time, I'm sure we'll all meet our twin flame, which is
Mhm.
pretty
mhm,
exciting.
mhm. Yes,
Can you imagine a room full
and
of twin flames?
I was just thinking
yes,
that, Gary. Imagine if everyone met their
and
twin flame. How amazing would this world be? Because everything would be
will
just
be.
for growth and support and respect,
Yeah,
and yeah,
Mhm.
be beautiful.
And
definitely.
how the world would be and how beautiful would be if we all meet our twin flames, and it doesn't, I think our desires are not completed in our lifetime. And thank you guys for joining us. Thank you so much for your comments, and
Thank
some
you
of
for
the
having
comments
me.
I get. Yeah, thank you Melody, and thank you Mark, thank you Ekeka. How do you pronounce it, Gary?
Who? Where?
Yeah, there it's on the screen.
Oh, cat.
Katerina,
Cat. Just call her
Katerina.
Cat. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yes,
know her. She's beautiful. Lots of beautiful
yes,
people I'm seeing join in.
yes.
Amanda, Kim,
Mhm.
Kat, and many
Uh,
others that have come in.
Many
Some
other
we
people.
didn't see their names because of, you know. Next
Uh-huh,
time, make sure you go to
uh-huh.
that link for for
That's
StreamYard, and
true.
then we can see your name. But it's
Yes,
been beautiful to
and
have this conversation. And we've
and
only
we'll continue this
touched
discussion.
this of it.
We will continue. Yes, we will continue this discussion in the next week. And if you if you know about this topic about soulmates, about twin flame, and how to find your twin flame and the true energy of the universe, then I would love you to be part of it. And thank you, Gary. Thank you, Jackie, for joining us. And thank you, guys. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Melody. Thank you, Mark. And thank you, many other people, and for joining us. My apologies if I'm not mentioning your name. All of you are wonderful people, and thank you for your support. Thank you for sharing it out. And I'll see you next week, and we'll continue this topic.
Beautiful. Arrivederci.
Mhm.